Welcome. Today's webinar is on our new on-demand professional development division, and it's exciting to get an open house to kind of see what it's about and what the different features are. We have as our presenter today Linda Borkenhagen, who is our Director of On-Demand Professional Development for eClass for Learning. So welcome, Linda.
Thank you. Welcome to everyone. Today we will have an opportunity to look at some of the features of this new model, and we're excited that you could join us. For several decades, schools have been focusing on improving student learning. Teacher professional development has been a key component of that focus. Many of you may be familiar with Thomas Guskey and his work, whose research is in the area of professional development, teacher change, and effective instruction. And he indicates that every modern proposal to reform, restructure, or transform schools emphasizes professional development as a primary vehicle in efforts to bring about that needed change. Different structures for professional development are available. Some types of professional development are outside the scope of the school, such as teacher education programs where a teacher learns the trade. Additional classes a teacher might take so that they can renew a license or advance on a salary schedule. There's also the National Board certification process. Conferences are another form of professional development. Teachers may be released from classroom responsibilities to attend conferences. We know they often come back energized and excited to put into practice what they've learned. And many find it difficult to bring others on board when they come back or find the time to implement what they've learned once they return to the day-to-day classroom responsibilities. Another common form of professional development in schools is in-services or standalone workshops. Although this is still a very common form of professional development, as far back as the 1990s, experts began to suggest that these traditional forms of teacher professional development lacked the focus and intensity and continuity that's needed to change classroom practices, and that in-services and standalone workshops were inadequate for preparing teachers to meet the educational needs of their students. Action research is another form of professional development which is very, very effective. What exactly is action research? It's a process that's initiated to solve an immediate problem. It provides an opportunity for teachers to look at their work and how they can teach differently to improve student learning, which is ultimately the goal of changing practices. It's about the reflective practices teachers use probably every day or should be using. It's a quest for knowledge about how to improve or how to change instruction to impact students, especially in these days of wanting to make sure that the needs of students are all students are met. This graphic shows the focus of action research based upon the level at which it's undertaken. On the personal level, the researcher focuses on changes in his or her skill or knowledge. On the organizational level, the focus with action research is on factors that control or result in group or organizational change. And at the highest level, a researcher is taking what they've learned and expanding the findings to a broader community. There are a lot of benefits to action research, including providing a way for teachers to model lifelong learning for students, helping a teacher understand the impact that he or she has on student learning. Another benefit is providing an opportunity for the teacher to improve his or her practice. Another is providing an opportunity for growth to occur on a broader scale when the action research is shared with others, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next coming slides. And building relationships and developing new ones when learning with others, and the eClass for Learning on-demand professional development provides opportunities for that. Teachers are certainly known for solving problems on a daily basis, but they may not think that they're interested in or knowledgeable about the action research project. It's not about hours in a library developing a lengthy bibliography. It's not about proving a point or finding out what's wrong. It's about good teaching. It's about looking at their students in their classroom, the curriculum, and best practices. And it's a quest for knowledge about how to improve so that they can have an effect on student learning. The E-Class for Learning on Demand Professional Development provides a structure for teachers to engage in action research in a step-by-step, independent manner while they're being supported by a mentor. This model is designed for teachers by teachers. Each teacher is assigned a personal mentor who's there to help them every step of the way. They have access to a wealth of resources, including research, webinars, and tutorials. Teachers will complete 4 modules online, so they're able to work at their own pace, at their own time. Each of the 4 modules takes approximately 2 hours to complete. And this is aligned to ISTE-NET standards and also Common Core standards. It's also a model that supports the National Staff Development Council staff development standards, and you can see the lengthy list of those that it does support. It supports Learning Communities standard, which indicates that adults should be put into learning communities whose goals are aligned with those of the school and the district. NSDC standard on resources says that staff development that improves the learning of all students requires resources to support adult learning and collaboration. Data-driven NSDC staff development uses disaggregate student data to determine adult learning priorities and to monitor progress and help sustain continuous improvement. The evaluation standard of NSDC, which says that multiple sources of information should be used to guide improvement and to demonstrate its impact. The standard about research, which says that staff development that improves the learning of all students should prepare educators to apply research to decision making. Design, using learning strategies appropriate to the intended goal. Collaboration is another one of the standards NSDC is quite clear about, and that provides educators with the knowledge and skills to collaborate. They have the opportunity to do that as well in this E-Class for Learning on Demand model. And quality teaching, and the NSDC standard regarding quality teaching is that staff development deepens educators' content knowledge and gives them research-based instructional strategies to help them meet the needs of their students and to use various types of assessments. So it really targets most of the National Staff Development Council standards. The E-Class for Learning on Demand Professional Development course has 4 modules, each taking approximately 2 hours to complete, and those 4 modules are seen in this diagram: Join a Community, Plan, Act, and Reflect. In the first module, teachers introduce themselves to others in the online community. They get an opportunity to meet their mentor, and they prepare to become a teacher researcher. Each module consists of steps the teacher takes while working through the module, and this is a view of how the steps appear in the Join a Community module. Each of the steps are numbered. There are links to resources, many of them videos, a little explanation of what it is, and then at the end is a checklist for those steps, and I'll explain that a little bit more later. Module 2 is Plan, the Plan module, and this is where the teachers develop a research question. They identify an area they'd like to study in their classrooms that supports school and or district initiatives. The question that they come up with is aimed at changing instruction to impact student learning, the students in their classroom. The teachers work with their mentor before finalizing the research question, and the mentor is there to help them on their way. Teachers have access to a wealth of resources, and you're seeing a visual of a cloud that is available for teachers to click on. They use this cloud of resources to help them to develop their research question. As an example, if a teacher wished to focus on a school's student engagement initiative, or if an administrator thought that a teacher's student engagement maybe needed to be strengthened, he or she could click on the student engagement tag in the cloud. And what you're seeing here is a portion of the student engagement resources that would appear when that term is selected from the resource library. And those are all provided for the teacher to help give them the tools that they might want to use with their students and in developing their research question. When developing the question, the teacher uses the template that's provided in the on-demand professional development course. And the questions on the template help guide the teacher. For instance, why is the question important? What would you like to find out? An opportunity for sub-questions. And then you're seeing here the second part of that. Prior to submitting the research template, the teacher has the opportunity to Skype with their mentor, and that mentor will help them through this process. And you can see from this section of the template where they will identify how the plan supports school or district initiatives, what research is there to support that timeline, and then how the teacher plans to collect data. The third module is the ACT module, and teachers, this is where they will collect data from their own classrooms. They have an opportunity to share their experience with others in the online community. One of the steps is that sharing, and this is an example of the Staff Development Council's collaboration standard being put into practice. The teachers have the opportunity to share how their experience is going and seek suggestions from others in the online community. The fourth module, the final module, is where teachers will analyze the data that they've collected, reflect on what that means, and then publish the results of their research question. After publishing a case study on their findings for the online community, the teacher earns a certificate of completion. A template is provided for the teacher to use for submitting his or her findings. A view of the pages of that template, a few of those pages are shown here, where each person in that online community will publish and have access to the case studies that everyone else in the online community has presented as well. Each of the four modules has a checklist of the items that need to be completed before moving to the next module. This helps the teacher keep organized, and it allows the mentor the opportunity to follow the progress that the teacher is making and provide support where needed. And you can see from this screenshot in the last module there would be 4 steps where they would go through the data analysis, they would complete their action research template, they would publish it, and they would share their findings. This professional development model supports the research on best practices for professional development and effective professional development. It's a great model for individual teachers, groups of teachers who may be working together, perhaps with new curriculum, members of a professional learning community, anyone with a desire to have a positive impact on student learning. And now we have an opportunity to take any questions that there may be from participants. And following this slide, you will see another slide that will be included in the archive of this webinar, and it lists resources for the research that were used as a part of this presentation.
Great, Linda. We don't have any questions at this time, but I really enjoyed getting the open house. I think this will be very helpful to people. Obviously, your email and phone number are there, so if people want to talk more about how this can be localized for their district, they can contact you more for information.
Absolutely.
So thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. We look forward to working with many of you.